Chapter 300 of My Hero Academia pretty much confirms that hero society as a whole will never be the same in Japan. We have seen a much darker timeline. Obviously, these last few chapters have been getting darker and darker with the staples of hero society falling apart. But this chapter almost confirms more than anything that it'll never return back to the state it was. And that almost makes me excited about these next couple of chapters for My Hero Academia, but the series as a whole going forward. Welcome back to the Class 1A channel. My name is Andrew Nimsker, and today I am going to be breaking down everything that happened in Chapter 300, the Hellish Todoroki Family Part 2, including my thoughts about what's next, a couple of moments within the chapter, and so much more. Let's not waste too much time and jump into exactly what happened with the urban districts across Japan pretty much being in absolute chaos. Not only are there escaped villains and really not enough heroes to take care of them, but the confirmation of Nomu actually existing was really the final straw for so many people in society, for pretty much society as a whole. Remember that Endeavor and Hawks were going and looking into these mysteries and these conversations, and Hawks going across the country, that there had been these rumors of Nomu pretty much circulating around since the first attack on USJ, a Class 1A, and all of that. And that now that the destruction these last couple days, the villains being escaped, and now Nomu confirmation pretty much has sent society scrambling and down into a deep, dark hole. And a great kind of example of showing of that is that we see a small group of villains, the Cider House Gang. No idea who they are, what the crooks are, doesn't matter. They go into this diner-like area and try to rob them and take any food they can find. When I'm assuming the shop owner comes from the back with a support weapon that can just be easily bought at this moment to fight back, along with other patrons having their support items of their own. Wash gets notification that, hey, there's been a fight down here and they need to go respond to it. When he gets there, he sees absolute destruction for what looks like almost a city block, and then as well as bodies on the ground, and that these kind of incidents have been rising just in the couple of days since the prison break began, because citizens feel like they need to protect themselves. Because heroes maybe not be there, that there are more villains out there, whatever the reason is, they have a very unique thought and expectation from heroes right now. When Wash shows up, they're instantly throwing a rock at him, asking where he was, saying that he's too late. So this really shows that not only do they expect heroes to still be there and save them instantly, but not give them a chance to really respond. I mean, they instantly attacked with their own support items the second the villain showed up, and expecting heroes to be there to instantly respond is such a weird expectation now, but that's how scared society and most citizens are right now. So they still want heroes to be there to protect them, but when they're not able to instantly protect them, they take matters in their own hands. So the interaction between the normal citizens and heroes is very unique right now, and at a time it almost caused a huge triggering effect that only made people lose more faith in hero society, which is going to be Yorimusha retiring. He's been a hero forever. He's a top 10 hero. He's very well known, and he uses the excuse almost of, after all this destruction, I need to fall on my own sword, saying like, oh, because I wasn't able to stop all this, I need to retire. And people see this more as a cowardice move, in that he's just leaving because the love and respect that heroes have gotten for as long as he's been a hero is gone. So his interest in the field is now dampering. And this pretty much sets off a triggering effect for so many other heroes that decide to retire, to just disappear more or less. Is that they signed up in a society where everything was pretty much calm. Yes, there'd be villain attacks. Yes, there's Stain. Yes, there's things such as that. But overall, hero society and Japan as a whole was in a pretty peaceful state. And now that it's pretty much full-bore war between heroes and villains, this isn't what they signed up for, and now they're leaving. I mean, I'm not saying that Uraraka is one of these, but we all know Uraraka's main reason for originally wanting to sign up to be a hero is for money. Now I think it's something much more. I think she wants to protect people after being influenced by Deku, as we've seen in recent chapters, right after the war arc where she tried to save people quickly. But people probably didn't have the interaction with Deku. There were people that signed up for the money and the fame and the popularity that, now that that's all gone, why would they stay around? But again, that just makes people lose more faith in heroes, that they're really not there for them anymore, which is also why it's so cool to see a statue of All Might with a little cardboard sign around it saying, I am not here pretty much saying of how citizens are seeing hero society as a whole right now, that they are no longer here to support the people of Japan. With that, we also do get to see one of our favorite villains from the series returning after being freed from Tartarus. We saw it in the initial breakout, but now Stain is in a shop, unsheathing a sword, and pretty much stating that he is back with that single frame. But I don't know if this instantly is going to be a disastrous thing for My Hero, or even just Heroes in general, not even My Hero series. I think it's an amazing thing for the series. But for Heroes, he was originally a vigilante. For those of you that don't know this, in the My Hero Academia vigilante spin-off manga, he's in it for a couple of chapters as originally a vigilante, and his interaction with the Knuckle Dusters, Koichi and Pop, is what set him on this different path of wanting to find only true heroes, and everyone else pretty much doesn't deserve a hero, and that's what sent him down the path of killing or maiming a bunch of different heroes. So maybe he goes and has some kind of interaction with Deku, and he returns back to the vigilante-like state of where he's not exactly on the hero side, and he still may be causing harm to heroes, but I don't think he also supports villains. If you remember, his interaction with Shigaraki weren't great. Maybe All For One has a different ideology and can get Stain a little bit more on board, but we didn't see him with any other villains. We saw him as himself in this panel, so maybe there's some hope that he could help the heroes in some states, but it's a very interesting idea of what he's going to do next, because he's really the wild card in all of this, but that's also what makes it exciting about him coming back, and what makes him such a great villain is that he's not here to just kill everyone. He's not an All For One where he wants to rule the world. He wants to create a more perfect hero society. So supporting the heroes that are staying during this time makes sense more, because anyone that is supporting and staying as a hero and fighting for the country now feels like more of a true hero than those that are leaving just because the fame, the money, and all that is gone. So super interesting thing. Can't wait to see what develops in the next couple of chapters. But there's one more big thing we need to talk about here, and that is Endeavor waking up with the doctor informing him that his son and most others have recovered, including himself. And in a chapter where so much of the blame has just been pushed onto Endeavor's shoulder, seeing the doctor saying, "I'm rooting for you" before leaving the room, almost is kind of a moment that makes you want to smile, and saying that there's still hope. There are still people that believe in Endeavor and heroes of society as a whole there, and not everyone has turned their back on them. So that's a little glimpse of hope for the future. But right as Endeavor is kind of saying that I was still waking up, Shoto opens the door, sees Endeavor, and then closes it, and he starts screaming for Shoto to come back in. And when he does, they open up the door and you see the rest of his family coming in, and Endeavor just starts crying and apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, my heart. And as he says, my heart, Ray, his wife, walks in and says, your heart what? We've had to bear so much more than you have our entire lives. This is now just coming to you. So we need to have a real conversation about our family and our son. Which is such a cool couple last words to end the chapter. And overall, just continuing the spotlight on the Todorokis is so much fun, because we have Shoto determined to go and pretty much kill his brother now after everything that's happened, knowing that his father's too weak. Endeavor coming to the end of the realization of all the horrible things he's done, that he's been trying to repay all of his sins up to this point, and now of it all hitting him all at once with the real reveal from Dabi and the airing of his dirty laundry all hitting him at once is not a great thing for Endeavor. So seeing that come full circle, while also seeing the advancement of Shoto and his whole family coming back, and probably kind of coming back, not, I wouldn't say a family unit, but working together to solve the rights of their family name. All super cool. But with all of that said, where the hell is chapter 301 going to go? I think there's so many different ways we could go. We could have the Hellish Todoroki family part 3, where it's just a continued conversation about everything that happened to Dabi, everything that has happened to their family as a whole, and what's next for it. We could go back to Best Genius and Hawks. Remember seeing at the end of chapter 299 that Hawks, it says that he's going to go help Endeavor. Is he going to go air his dirty laundry now to society to try to say that, hey, no one's perfect? Is he going to go have a conversation with Endeavor? Is he just going to go out and try to clean up some villains and wait a couple weeks before doing anything? No idea what's going to happen with those two yet, but that's also an exciting thing. But what we need to remember, Deku's still in a coma. I thought for sure chapter 300 would be a huge vestige chapter that we were going to have him talking about, getting a bunch of more quirks, and kind of preparing for this ultimate showdown against Shigaraki. I think that or All For One, wherever this is going to go. But we haven't got to that yet. Could it be another 5 chapters before we get to that? Could we have a couple more Todoroki-based chapters and then a couple of Hawks-based chapters, and then Deku's at 305? 301 to 310 could be all vestige state for us. The series has set up that this dark society and set the stage for everything really well. So now the pieces need to start coming together. We know a couple of showdowns that are probably going to happen with someone in the Todoroki family going and fighting Dabi. That Deku is going to have to fight All For One at some point. But we have Stain out there. We have Hawks and Best Jeanist out there. We have pretty much the rest of Class 1A being out there. Some of the only heroes we really know that are left. I mean, there's a couple out there, but you think Bakugo is just going to sit around with how pissed he was about Deku being passed out? Chapters 300 to 320 can go in such a wide variety of areas that it makes me so exciting that I'm just rambling at this point because of my excitement for the series right now. Every chapter gets better and better, and I can't wait to see what happens in chapter 301. Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, my thoughts, everything for chapter 300 My Hero Academia. 301 is going to be amazing. I will be talking about that next Monday since I'll be out of town on Sunday. But thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Class1A. And also, we have a weekly My Hero Academia podcast called the Class 1A Podcast, where this week we broke down how we could turn Denki Kaminari into a top 10 hero. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next